Hi, I'm Niamh. I'm in 5th class. I live in the west of Ireland with my family. Rory is my older brother. Rory and I used to do everything together, but after transition year, he stopped spending time with me. He stopped going out with his friends and spent a lot of time working out. Food wrappers were thrown around his room everywhere, and he had lots of protein stuff on his desk. I hated when Mum and Dad treated us to takeaway, because Rory would get so worried. I didn't know why this was happening. We loved takeaway night. One night, after we had pizza, I heard Rory being sick in the bathroom. I was worried because we'd eaten the same pizza, but I wasn't sick. I said I'd get Mum, but Rory started shouting at me. Mum heard us shouting and came up to see what was happening. She was really cross with him and took away his fitness watch, which I thought was weird because he was sick. Rory got really angry and said he didn't care about the watch. He would just run more. I felt really upset. I didn't know who was right. The next few months were horrible. Rory was mean and angry. Mum and Dad were so worried about him. They kept saying Rory had to go to the doctor, but he kept saying no. I hated being at home. I was afraid to talk to Rory. All I wanted to do was stay in my room, to get away from it all. I found it hard to do my homework. I was angry and confused. I felt so alone. If Rory knew that it would make Mum and Dad happier if he took a day off exercising, why wouldn't he do that? One evening, Rory stormed out of the house after another fight. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I burst out crying. Why did he have to fight with Mum and Dad all the time? And why were they so angry with him? That's when Mum and Dad told me that Rory had an eating disorder. It meant that he was feeling bad about himself, that he was sad and was finding life difficult. Rory had started exercising to try and make himself feel better. He was finding it hard to eat too. They said he couldn't stop exercising or else he would feel worse about himself. It all made more sense now. Eventually Rory agreed to get help. Mum brought him to a team of special doctors who help people with eating disorders. I was glad he was getting help, but things seemed to get worse. He was always tired and so moody with me. I wish the eating disorder would just go away so everything could go back to normal and I could have my brother back. Mum and Dad were upset all the time. They did a course with Bodywhys to learn how we could help Rory. I asked Mum how long it would take for Rory to get better. She said they really didn't know. The doctor explained it wasn't about Rory eating normally and not exercising so much, that he had to start feeling better about himself. That was going to take time, even with help. I felt like our lives changed when Rory got his eating disorder. Mum asked me if I would like to speak to someone. She thought it might be good for me to have someone outside of our family that I could talk to. It was called therapy. I didn't like it the first few times. It felt weird talking to a stranger about our family stuff, but after a while, I found it helped me understand what was going on with Rory. It was a way of getting things out of my head. Rory watched a movie with me last week. It felt so good to have my brother back for a bit. I still worry about him, but things are getting better. Mum and Dad are happier, and Rory spends more time with us nowadays. His room is still messy, but I don't care, as long as I have my brother back. Even though I hate the eating disorder and what it did to my brother and family, we're all happier now. And I know Rory still has more work to do before he's fully better, but I know he can do it with our help.